The Winkle triple projection has since surpassed Robinson in some applications, offering better polar area preservation at the cost of mid-latitude shape distortion. Both represent attempts to balance competing demands that no flat map perfectly resolves. Digital mapping reduced Robinson's dominance somewhat, but it remains popular for static prints where balanced aesthetics outperform specialized alternatives. Many world maps in books and posters default to Robinson for showing the entire Earth without obvious distortions. The projection's legacy lies in demonstrating how technical choices affect perception. By softening Mercator's extremes while avoiding Gall Peters' radical corrections, Robinson created a map that felt familiar yet subtly more accurate, a psychological edge pure mathematical solutions often lack. Seen between Mercator and Gall Peters, Robinson lands almost exactly in the middle, less navigationally useful than the former, less area accurate than the latter, but far more versatile for casual reference. This versatility explains its decades-long institutional adoption. The projection handles thematic data well. Climate zones and migration patterns appear reasonably accurate across most latitudes, making it useful for educational maps showing global phenomena. Critics note that balanced doesn't mean neutral. Like all projections, Robinson favors certain distortions. Prioritizing mid-latitude shapes over polar precision reflects Western bias, just less extremely. It still centers on Greenwich and keeps Europe and North America visually prominent. Modern cartography increasingly combines multiple projections to minimize issues. This approach recognizes no one-size-fits-all solution exists. Each projection serves different needs depending on scale and purpose. Robinson's work reminds us that map-making always involves compromise. His projection succeeded by disguising inevitable distortions so most viewers wouldn't notice them, offering generations a more accurate worldview than traditional maps, even if still imperfect. This realization leads naturally to examining how map choices reflect deeper cultural priorities and cultural bias. A theme we'll explore next. Maps shape how we think about the world. The Mercator projection's distortions do more than misrepresent sizes. They subtly reinforce a view that favors certain regions over others. Countries near the poles appear inflated, while equatorial regions shrink. This technical necessity for navigation carries unintended cultural consequences. Europe benefits most from these distortions. On Mercator maps, Europe appears larger than South America, when in reality South America nearly doubles Europe's size. Scandinavia looks comparable to India, though India is actually 3 times larger. These visual misrepresentations embed themselves into our mental geography over time. Generations of students absorbing these maps develop unconscious assumptions about regional importance based on distorted scales. The projection's historical timing amplified this bias. Created in 1569 during Europe's colonial expansion, the Mercator map came to dominate precisely when European powers were asserting global influence. Cartographer George Kellaway noted the projection became unsuitable for general world maps due to its distortions. The maps used in classrooms didn't just support navigation, they supported a worldview. Size distortions follow predictable patterns. Landmasses gain about 5% apparent size for every 5 degrees of latitude away from the equator. By 45 degrees north, roughly the latitude of Minneapolis or Milan, countries appear twice as large as they truly are relative to equatorial regions. This systematically boosts temperate powers while diminishing tropical nations. Africa suffers most from this system. Straddling the equator, it appears roughly the same size as Greenland on Mercator maps. In reality, Africa covers about 14 times more area. The Democratic Republic of Congo alone could contain Western Europe, yet Mercator makes Belgium appear comparable. Cultural geographer Dr. Lydia Delisser observes, map distortions become mental shortcuts. We equate visual prominence with importance before we even consult the data. Colonial era maps made these biases explicit. European cartographers centered maps on the Greenwich meridian, placing Europe at the visual focus. They enlarged colonial territories while shrinking competitors' holdings. Modern maps avoid overt prejudice, but Mercator's mathematical distortions perpetuate similar imbalances through geometric necessity. The projection's digital dominance extends these effects. Online maps showing exaggerated northern landmasses reach billions daily. Google Earth's 3D globe provides an alternative, yet most users still experience web mapping through Mercator-based services. The ubiquity normalizes distortions, making accurate comparisons feel unfamiliar. Educational materials struggle with this legacy. Textbooks criticizing Mercator's biases still often use it for consistency with digital maps. Teachers report students expressing shock when shown equal area projections where Africa dwarfs Europe. One geography instructor described a student insisting, "Africa can't be that big. It doesn't look that way on Google Maps." Alternative projections attempt to counteract these effects. The Gall Peters projection shows true scale, though distorting shapes. The Hobodaya projection flips hemispheres, challenging conventional orientations. Even centering maps on the Pacific rather than the Atlantic offers new perspectives. The persistence of Mercator speaks to cultural inertia. Northern nations control most mapping platforms and educational publishing. Their citizens rarely question maps, making their homelands appear prominent. Distorted maps confirm assumptions rather than challenge them, making alternatives seem wrong despite better accuracy. Climate change debates reveal consequences. Public understanding of tropical nations' vulnerability suffers when maps minimize their presence. Rainforests crucial for carbon sequestration appear shrunken, while the global north's exaggerated size boosts its perceived centrality in solutions. Migration patterns also appear distorted. The 14-kilometer Strait of Gibraltar crossing gets visually lost in Mercator's expanded Mediterranean. Movements between similarly sized neighbors take exaggerated significance when maps distort dimensions. Critical map literacy could counter these effects. Teaching students to recognize distortions helps mentally compensate when viewing standard maps. Comparing multiple projections builds awareness that no single map shows complete truth. Understanding that maps reflect choices about what to prioritize, whether shape, area, or navigation, builds healthy skepticism. The Mercator projection wasn't designed with cultural implications in mind. Its distortions served 16th century sailing needs. But centuries of using navigation tools as reference maps wired our geographic intuition with accidental bias. Digital technology could break this cycle if leveraged thoughtfully. Interactive globe views or augmented reality overlays might help. Yet technical solutions alone won't change perception. The debate extends beyond cartography. Urban planners use maps prioritizing certain neighborhoods. Electoral projections make some votes appear more significant. Every flattening of multidimensional reality involves choices about what to preserve and what to distort. Recognizing these choices matters for interpreting visualized information. Mercator's impact mirrors how all tools shape thought. Language, measurement systems, and calendars embed worldviews while seeming neutral. Maps join these as quiet influencers of perception. The first step toward mitigating their effects is recognizing that every flat representation of our spherical world tells a story through its distortions as much as its accuracy.